So, triple monitor gaming. Should you do it? Should you not? Well, it takes up a lot of space, as you can see, and it's a lot of money to buy 3 monitors just to have an ultra-wide setup, basically. Or you buy one ultra-wide Odyssey G9, whatever that thing is, but, work with what you got. Triple monitor gaming is when you have 3 monitors like this, and you play one game spanned across all 3 monitors. It sounds pretty awesome, but is it really? Now, personally, I have always wanted to do triple monitor gaming, so finally, I got 3 monitors, and of course, I configured it so I could try it. Now, I didn't configure my whole setup, but there's a couple things missing because I just wanted to see whether or not I would like it, because when you're having your game span across all the monitors, you lose a couple of things. You're not going to be able to have anything else on the other monitors. As me, I usually like to have Discord open on a monitor, or Steam, or I like to have stuff on other monitors, and I hate having all my monitors filled. Is it worth that drawback to be able to have a game span across all 3 monitors? And when you're looking at it, you feel pretty locked in, because you look left and right and you still see game. Some of the biggest downsides, though, are the lack of frames. It takes a massive hit on your frame rate, or at least for me it did. I usually get about 40 FPS in Watch Dogs Legion, and when I did this, I averaged 24 FPS, which it's not terribly noticeable actually in Watch Dogs. Somehow low FPSs in Watch Dogs are kind of fine, but it's definitely noticeable, and you will notice that stutter. And you're someone that really likes high FPS gaming, well, you're probably not even thinking about this, but you probably won't like it. It also takes up a ton of desk space. I mean, this going across is massive when you're looking at it. You have no extra desk space. Matter of fact, my water bottle is too tall that I can barely even fit it, so without covering my monitors, because I have to have it clear over to the side where there's this 2 inches I have on my desk where I can't see monitor. So yeah, if you like desk space, also probably isn't for you. Also, I did notice some games, especially Call of Duty Warzone being one of them, in the menu screens, it's very buggy. What Call of Duty did for me was I had the main monitor, but then there was the Call of Duty, the drop off, because it kind of fades to black. And then once they got to about here, it was video again. They didn't do the whole fade to black, so it just looked really weird. And then in Watch Dogs Legions 2, I had issues where there were words across the screen, but it would go over a seam, so I couldn't see all the words. Just little things that kind of just irritate you that little bit that makes you not want to do it. Now, if you already have 3 monitors, though, I 100% recommend trying it and seeing if it's for you. Matter of fact, if you do, you've probably already tried it. It also gets buggier if you don't have all 3 of the same monitors. Like me, my 2 monitors are Omen monitors, and this is a Viotech, something like that. It doesn't really work super well. The monitors on the sides, I think, are 24s, and I think this is a 26 curved. But it's just that little bit that just makes it weird, because they're at the different levels, and this is a slightly different aspect ratio, I think. Just something like that. It's just the little changes that, if it's not all perfect, makes you second guess yourself, and is this really worth all of this? Because it takes up a lot of space, and you lose desk space, frames, bugs will happen. There's just a lot of cons, and I feel like there are more cons than pros to this. I also found myself when I was driving in a game like Watch Dogs Legion, and there's quite a bit of traffic and pedestrians and poles and all of that, and buildings and turns. There's just a lot of stuff on the streets in that game, and it's already kind of hard driving when you're just focused on one monitor. But I was trying to use the side monitors, and I found every time I looked left or right to the other monitor, I crashed. And they were bad crashes. I was in poles, I was in buildings, every time I kind of took my eyes off the road to go look at the sidewalk next to me, or a car that passed by me because it looks cool. I crashed. So, yeah, you probably may not have that issue, but I didn't find them useful. I feel like they're more for the immersion than actually using them, at least in the games I played. The only two I tried were Watch Dogs Legion and Warzone, but both of those I just found they weren't really all that useful for me. Also, in Watch Dogs Legion, I noticed when I cranked my FOV from the default 60 to 110, which is the max, I noticed on the side monitors, the cars went from this to this. They got really elongated and kind of squished. So I don't think you can really mess with your FOV when you play this. You may not have that issue, but that was a weird one I had. So I just couldn't get that super wide. It was still wider than just switching to 110, but I couldn't change my FOV without aspect ratio stuff getting weird. So, would I recommend you doing a triple monitor gaming setup? Well, at the end of the day, it comes down to personal preference, but me, myself, I am not going to be using this. I love having extra monitor space and just being able to toss things whenever, and in my next setup, I'm going to go for more ergonomics probably, and just try and build it out to function and less immersion really, and just looks good. And it doesn't even look that great. I mean, depending on your setup too, the monitors on the sides, you'll see the cables behind them if you look at the side of your desk at all the slightest bit, because, well, they're facing in quite a bit. And also the lack of frames for me was just a pretty big drawback, and all the issues I had just wasn't worth it to me. I just couldn't care less for the immersion and frame loss and all of that. But for you, you may love it if you play a game like Forza, a racing game, and you just really want that immersion. Maybe you got a wheel, like you just want a ton of immersion, then it might work pretty good. Also, if you get high frame rates like 120 on normal, it probably won't affect you and you'll probably just drop down to 100 or 90. But if you're like me and kind of play at low frame rates already, it just hits a lot harder. And it 100% depends on the games you play. Now, I like to play more first-person shooter games like Warzone, and I also enjoy Watch Dogs a lot, but if you play more car games or Flight Simulator or something like that, then this may be just the thing for you. So at the end of the day, it just comes down to personal preference, and if you like it or don't. Anyways, thank you for watching. That's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Go down and comment down below whether you will be doing triple monitor gaming or maybe you're already doing it. Let me know, because I want to see how many of you actually have a ridiculous setup like this just to get that immersion, or if you actually use the side monitors to spot an enemy or something. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video.